Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Talk with Sorinthan Haorei. Today I'm joined by a renowned social activist of Manipur, very popular and a role model for many. We will be discussing some important issues of the state, and we're hoping to have a very meaningful discussion with him. Today I'm joined by Mr. Khuraijam Athouba, the spokesperson of COCOMI. Thank you so much, Mr. Athouba, despite your busy schedule, for joining us on this episode. I'm looking forward to have a very productive conversation with you. Right, so to start the conversation, I would like to start with the current issue we're facing. We have all known that since the 3rd of May 2023, hundreds of lives have been lost. Crores worth of properties has been damaged, and thousands of people have been displaced. And most of the people, directly or indirectly, have been affected mentally, physically, psychologically. So do you think this crisis, this violence is worth it? What is your take on this current issue?
Thank you first of all, thank you for having me. I think this incident that we are facing today, it could have been avoided.
Okay.
If the people of Manipur wanted it. But unfortunately, it unfolded in a very disastrous manner. And now that it has already gone through 9 months,
right,
we are still searching on as to how we can, resolve this crisis in a conducive way. We are still looking for that. And because of this incident, these violent times, I think it has given a very big setback in the peace and prosperity or peace and progress of the state. Because Manipur has already started recovering itself from the deeply downtrodden society. It has started coming up, recovering from all forms of issues and problems that we have been facing for decades. It has started taking the part of progress. It has started, getting attentions from national and international companies and peoples and societies. The number of visitors, even the foreign nationals, has outnumbered the Assam's tourism footfall. So all those things has now again, taken back to 10 years down the line, I think. It is one of the most unfortunate part, maybe in our time in the history of Manipur. So I think every ethnic community, every people who lives in Manipur, who tend to see their future through Manipur, should work in together and try not to face another such kind of unfortunate incident.
Yes. Like you mentioned earlier, Manipur was thriving. It was like Jawaharlal Nehru said, the jewel of India. Right. When you said it could have been avoided, what do you think it's like man-made mistakes? What could have gone wrong? I mean, what could have the government or the communities, different communities living in Manipur, what could we have done to avoid such mistakes?
In my mind, I have two very important aspects, which I think that if that had been done, then these things could have been avoided. Number one is the law enforcement agencies in the state. I don't know what made them hold back on that very day of the fateful 3rd May. Because prior to the 3rd May incident, there were already violent clashes between the state forces and the protesters in Churchandpur on 28th and 29th of April. Everyone has seen it. And just after that, after 3 days of that incident, where people were injured, state forces, policemen were injured, properties were destroyed, public properties were also destroyed. What led the government again give the permission, the district administration gave the permission to gather another thousands of crowd just after 3 days of that violent clashes. I think that's one mistake. Number two, the Churachandpur district administration at that time, the first violent conflict that happened in Tolbun area, it's more or less 12 kilometers away from the actual place of the rally that's been organized. And it's a solidarity rally, as they say in the banner. And our Naga students, brothers were also involved in that solidarity rally. Every district has demonstrated some kind of march rally. So, how would you allow such youthful gathering to march another 12 kilometers and let reach the nearest villages, Meitei villages there, and let them clashes together again there, fight together, confront each other there. So that 12 kilometers is a very long distance, and the state forces could have overpowered them. The central forces could have been, invited to, assist the state forces if they had been overpowered in a way, and it could have been dispersed. So I think that attempt was not made.
So you think the state forces have been casual or careless in a way?
I think that will be coming out through the process of the inquiry, I think. So I don't want to comment on that because it will have a different tone again. I don't want to go to there, that part. Number one is that aspect. Another one is we already have a sense prior to 3rd May that the state government has taken up certain steps to tackle or to handle the issue of illegal immigrations and the campaign for war on drugs, which has been going on since 2018 after the swearing in of the new chief ministers in 2017. Then by 2018, he launched a new project that's war on drugs. And there is another one about the protection of the reserved forest areas and so on. So these three agendas have hurt the interests of certain group of people belonging to the Kuti community. That's a fact. So they even protested in several instances, you know it. They protest in terms of, this Kogu incident where survey was about to take place by the Forest Department, declaration of the forest protected area site and all. Then there was eviction drive. Earlier to that, there was also drive in the Naga communities who encroached. There were also Meitei communities who encroached. They were all being evicted. Nobody responded in such a violent or fierce way, the way they did that. So, in reality, it is the state government's agenda that has kind of intimidated or upset certain group of people or the group of leaders belonging to the Chinkuki community. So they could have confronted or challenged or opposed or protest with it against the government.
Do you think the Kuki-Zo community felt they are being targeted by the government? Do you think?
They might feel so. Because when we talk about war on drugs, there was a rigorous drive against poppy cultivation, and almost 95% of the poppy cultivations are being carried out in the hill areas where Kuki populations are settled. You know it. There are a certain amount in the Naga settlement areas as well, but that's minimum compared to the other side. So that has also given a big blow to the, those people who are in that cultivation process, activities. So my point is, you are not happy with the government, fight with the government, protest with the government. Why do you have to target the Meitei civilians? By that time, at that time, the Meitei civilians or Meitei groups have no issue with any community. And you'll be surprised to know that, as per my own personal experience, I still have recorded in my diary, 6 days earlier to that, 6 days.
Earlier to the 3rd of May?
3rd of May.
Okay.
We were supposed to have a formal meeting with the Cookie MP.
Okay.
We already had a prelude meeting with them.
COCOMI and
COCOMI
Cookie NP. Okay.
After we had a decision with the Naga, United Naga Councils to, to press the government to carry out the exercise of NRC, so that, the illegal immigrations and all form of influx migrant populations can be detected, and, we can have some kind of sense of security for the indigenous peoples, all those things. So we want to convey that decision taken by the Naga group leaders and in COCOMI, and we conveyed it to the Cookie group leaders, Cookie NP leaders in one of our office in Imphal, and we gave them the agenda, that these are the agenda we want to discuss with you. You please go back, do your homework, discuss with your people, and let's have a broader meeting together again, somewhere in a good place where we can discuss in threadbare manner, so that we can sort out how do we tackle these issues. So that never realized, because that May 3rd incident has, suddenly erupted.
Okay.
And on that very unfateful day of this 3rd May, even I was not in Imphal. I was in New Delhi for a Supreme Court hearing, because I was filing a petition for my Mao veterans, because they have been blocked by the Angami because of that Zuko-Paziri land dispute, you know it.
Yeah.
They put an embargo to all the Mao peoples doing business in Kohima and all. So I filed a petition in Supreme Court. So I went there on 2nd of May for the hearing. So I returned back only on 6th. And even after returning, we still have a sense that we don't understand this whole dynamics that I just narrated to you earlier.
Okay.
It came to sense only when, after 2, 3, 4 months of rigorously, continuously following the kind of, propaganda and narratives that have been coming up from both sides. Then only I realized, okay, this is different thing.
Okay.
By that time, after I come back, before I reach Imphal, our COCOMI team have already started some kind of evacuation exercise, evacuating innocent civilians from the conflict hot zones areas. So on 8th of May, we again initiated the larger evacuation process, and that is how we sent back around 9 to 10,000 of Cookie civilian population who stuck in several reserved secured areas. We took them all and sent back to their respective homes in Churachandpur and Kampopi. Subsequently, we also bring back all those Meitei populations stuck in Kampopi and Churachandpur. And that was a very holistic approach that we initiated. And we don't have any bias or any communal sense in that time also. At that time also, Assam Rifles was they provided all the logistic support and all the security and everything, and we've been warmly received by our KSO volunteers and all in Churachandpur. We met them, we discussed issues, then we exchanged people, and they even come back to drop us here in Imphal. We had a dinner together in IGR South Campus, and we returned back. Then once that process of evacuations is done, then the violence again took turn in a very, very horrible manner.
Right. Very unfortunate. Do you think the main contentious issue, the main issue about this issue, I mean the ongoing crisis, is land? Do you think land is the most important issue?
Not land as in, if I have to say. Yes, certain element of interest over control over land and all may be there, but from our viewpoint, it is more about, influx immigration and demographic challenges from our perspective. From the side of Cookie, for them it's like they want to legitimize those immigrations that took place from across the border from time to time. You know, there is a several wave of migration that took place from Myanmar to Manipur, beginning from 1962 military coup event that happens in Myanmar. By that time, first wave of migration happens. Then in 1966 again it repeated. In 68 it repeated. Then in 70s it repeated again. Then in 80s also. In 90s also, and 2010-11 when Aung San Suu Kyi come to power again, then military take over again. By that time also. So whenever there is a political unrest in Myanmar, there is a wave of migration taking place repeatedly. And that migrated population are being given permanent settlement by those Kuki settlement, the Kuki leaders who are already settled in Manipur.
Okay.
And that is what they want to defend. But they allow them to settle in reserve forest areas. They want them to settle in, you know, and they let them indulge in all form of illicit cultivations of poppy and all. So these are the agenda which the state government took up to, you know, take control of.
Okay.
It's not the people of Manipur that took that. It's not the Meitei community that took that agenda.
Okay.
And Meitei community has nothing to do with that. So if they are not happy with the government, they should, you know, confront with the government only. They should not target Meitei.
Okay. Okay.
So this is how it all, you know, gone wrong.
All right. Right. The incident which happened on the 3rd of May, it was sparkled by the High Court, Manipur High Court's, order on the issue. I mean, to recommend on the Meitei's demand for ST status, which has been, I think, deleted a couple of days ago. So this ST status, which has been pursued by the ST Demand Committee of the Meitei community, is, I think, it is one of the burning issue. And then this has been opposed by the tribals at the moment of the hills, especially settled in the hills. And recently, even Ansem, I think they gave a memorandum to the governor of Manipur as well. And then even the Kuki-Zo community is opposed to this. So, do you support the Meitei's idea of to get the ST status? Are you of the opinion that Meitei should also get the ST status?
As a spokesperson of COCOMI, it's very clear that COCOMI has no opinion on this agenda for scheduled tribe demands of Meitei.
Okay.
We don't even discuss on the...
So do you feel this is just a certain group of people who is demanding for ST status?
Yeah, there are groups who are at the forefront demanding for this scheduled tribe for the Meitei. But personally, not in the capacity of COCOMI, if you go back and see my interviews, TV interviews, when this idea of scheduled tribe demand by Meitei groups started, I don't support at that time. Okay. I don't support.
Okay. Well, what about now? Are you supporting it or?
No, I don't take a stand on that.
Okay.
Because now there are certain, sizable group of population who are bidding for this scheduled tribe. So I think I leave it to the the government's decision.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. You meant to say not all the Meitei community supports this demand, or it's just a few group of people?
Yes, I don't think it's 100%.
Okay. Not 100% of the Meitei community supports the ST status demand. All right. I ask this because the tribals of Manipur feel threatened when a certain group of people from the Meitei community demand this ST status for the Meitei community. And then it has been going on more intensively after this incident which occurred on the 3rd of May. Okay. In your opinion, do you think the Meiteis are a progressive society or a regressive society in terms of development, in terms of economic and educational development?
Meitei is a progressive society.
A progressive society?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you can see that Meitei intelligentsias,
right,
Meitei scholars, Meitei scientists, Meitei teachers, it's everywhere in the country.
Right,
Not
right.
just in the country, it's everywhere in the world. And it is thriving in so many sectors, not just in education or
Right.
academic sectors.
Sports as well.
Sports, culture,
Right.
so many aspects. And you even have scientists in ISRO
Right.
who took part in this Chandrayaan mission and all. So I think it is progressing.
Progressive society.
Yes, but there are also certain aspects where significant population of Metis society also have a what do you say economic what do you say backwardness. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, also.
Yeah. The reason why I ask is because, like I mentioned earlier, there are certain groups who have been demanding for ST status, trying to compete with the tribals of Manipur. Because we have all known that Metis has a very proud of more than 2,000 years of civilization, and then one of the language, rich language and culture as well. And then, like you have said, Manipur is competing with a Metis community, represented by Metis community, has been competing with other states, for example, like you have mentioned so many things. So do you think the demand for the status ST status, is it relevant at the moment? Because you have mentioned so many things about Metis community being a progressive society, right? So being an ST, don't you think it is redundant to demand for such status?
No, I think I better not comment on ST's pros and cons because I have no opinion on that particularly, and I don't think. But if you think that it's not about the social status of the society, that scheduled tribe, what do you say, scheduled tribe objective, strive to achieve the policy of scheduled tribe. Because if you look at the Meena tribe of Rajasthan,
Rajasthan, yes.
they are so advanced comparatively with any other community in India. Meena tribe is so advanced, and in population, in their literacy rate, in their economy, in their social status, they are so advanced. But yet they are included in the ST list. So I think ST list is not about actually not about the upliftment of a social status or not, advancement of society. I really don't buy that, because if you look at the Scheduled Tribe Ministry's website, in the constitution it is written that Scheduled Tribe status is being granted for the backward community for every 10 years, so that they can come out of that backwardness. But it's been almost 70 years now. But if you go through the website of the ministry, you don't have a progress report.
Right. Okay.
Don't you think it's ironic? The government of India, who are investing huge amount, who are giving number of privilege and welfare schemes to the scheduled tribe policy, and they also said that it will be extended. It will be on the basis of the tenure of giving the privilege for scheduled tribe will be 10 years, and every 10 years is being extended. So it's almost 70 years now. So they have extended 7 times, but you don't have a progress report. That how many communities have came out of that, backwardness. After enjoying these scheduled tribe facilities. So it is more or less in India, it has become tools of politics to divide the society. Because India itself, the Indian society itself emerged out of a very, caste society, caste-based society. You know it.
Right.
How many caste systems are there? There are 4 or 5 level of categorization of human beings in India. And through that perspective, this idea has been floated. But when it comes to Northeast India, it turns out into a different narrative again. So, in my view, the policy of scheduled tribe itself is completely political. It is not what we expect or what we are, arguing or what we are debating.
So is it that thing that's affecting Manipur? You think so? And see, the reason why I'm raising questions on ST status is because the tribals of Manipur feel threatened. I'm sure you're aware of that. Most especially the Nagas and the Kukizo community, we feel threatened of the status demand by the Metis community.
I think that's misleading.
Misleading?
Yeah. There's nothing to feel threatened. You know why? Because let me tell you one thing. Mm, uh, when I was taking part in several debates against the demand of scheduled tribe by Meitei at that time.
Okay.
Now I don't do any more homework on scheduled tribe because I leave it.
You're not interested anymore?
Not interested because
Okay.
see, if you look at the parameters of the local committee that has given, there are certain things like primitive traits. I don't think you follow any primitive traits. No, you have come out of that. But yes, there are people among the tribal communities, say like people who are in Mon district,
Okay.
people who are in Wilong subdivision of Senapati, the Wilong, the Mao community who are inside the interior part.
Okay.
And those tribal communities who are in the interior parts, they shoot somewhere.
Okay.
The shyness, then the lack of communication, proper communications, all those traits. But we also have certain group of community, even among several ethnic communities, who have already come out of that, that loop and get an exposure to the larger global society.
Okay.
So that segregation is yet to be properly demarcated. You have so many, among the tribal communities also, you have 2-3 generations who have become IAS officers and IPS officers. And their teens and children are still enjoying the privilege of scheduled tribe, which is supposed to be for those people who still follow the primitive traits and who are interior, who are completely isolated, geographically isolated. But those people who are born and brought up in New Delhi, who pursued educations in DPS, somewhere best of private schools, whose parents has never, had a toilet with Indian commodes. We also have certain group of people, isn't it?
Right.
So, but in that economic perspective and in that line of family status and all, there are also so many controversies. Above that, one more very important issue is that the kind of concessions given by scheduled tribe policy in terms of education, in terms of job recruitment and all, this is self-destructive.
Okay.
Because if you have an MBBS doctor who don't compete for 100 marks, who got selected with 55 and 50 marks, you'll never get to become a specialist. Because on concession, you will never become specialist. To become a specialist, you have to compete the world. You have to be, excelling your own human potentials, not the scheduled tribe potentials, limited potentials.
Okay.
It's like what do you call the domestic animals who's been scot-free in the jungle to survive themselves, the one who's been kept in cage and fed. You'll see the instinct of these two animals, same animal but in different environment. One is being let free, find their own food, survive by themselves. One is being kept in the cage. You feed him every day, you feed them every day, make them healthy, but you see the instinct of that two animals. It's same happening in scheduled tribe.
Okay.
That is why when Meitei progressed, whether we couldn't, we may not be able to, achieve the level of achievement which the mainland Indian populations achieve, because we are too minuscule comparatively in terms of population. They are too minuscule. But as they have been let free to compete as a human being, with full of whatever caliber they have inside as a human,
Okay.
that is how they started achieving in larger, greater heights. That will be difficult in terms of scheduled tribe. That is why we are facing in the scheduled tribe states like Mizoram, like Arunachal, like Nagaland. You have very rare specialist medicine practitioners. You have very rare specialist engineers. You have very rare scientists. Why is that? Because every students from scheduled tribe community is being given that concession in their mind that all you have to do is score 55, get eligible, and you get the entrance and you go there.
Okay.
You set your luck there. So this is completely against undermining the potential of our youth and future. That is where I argued when at that time when the idea of self-drive come out. So it will undermine our children's future, and they will also be limited to just becoming, even if they got an MBBS seat, they will become medical officer.
Okay. Yeah.
Not as missionaries.
That's a very good point. But when I mentioned about the tribals who feel threatened because of the ST demand by the Meitei communities, it's mostly because of the land, I feel so. Because once the ST status has been granted, I think they'll be able to buy lands of the tribals, which has been protected by the constitution. That's what we felt. And since you're not so much interested in the ST status demand, that will be the last question. And I asked you that because you have been, you are the spokesperson of one of the biggest and the most influential association of the CSO of the Meitei community, and then your opinion has a weightage on it. That's the reason why I ask. All right, I'll skip to the other topic. The other thing which the tribals of the Manipur we feel is that the state government has been giving a stepmotherly treatment to the hills of Manipur. During the budget session of the government or while implementing it, most of the funds has been diverted to the valley, and that most of the important infrastructures, important institutions, hospitals, universities, almost all the government's institutions, important ones, are based in the valley. And this is also a kind of stepmotherly treatment, and then not giving equal development to all the areas of the hills, the state. This is what they feel as well, that leads to differences between the communities as well. What's your take on this?
In a way, if we look from the outside view, it seems like that.
Okay.
But once we come out of that, ethnocentric mindscape, you will not find that reasonable.
Okay.
Because say, Imphal don't belong to Meitei, number one. But I know several, political leaders, several leaders from different communities. They always want to fix and dedicate the valley area to Meitei, but which is actually not. Imphal belongs to everyone. If you see at the recent documents released by the state government, around 9,000 acres homestead land, 9,000 acres of homestead land belongs to COCOMI.
In this Imphal Valley?
Imphal Valley. Homestead land, Imphal Valley is very small size, a very small area. If you remove the agricultural land, if you remove the river, the lakes, the small hills in between, if you remove all the government state land, then it's very limited, very small.
Right.
And in that small space, our Kuki people have acquired 9,000 acres of homestead lands. And for the Naga community also, you have around 85 Naga colonies permanently settled, right from the monarch time, permanently settled.
Okay.
And you also have new colonies, like the colony in Manchipukri, the colony in Chingmairong, the Baumai colony. So many colonies are there. These are all also permanently settled. And every opportunity that you have in Imphal, it belongs to the entire population of the state. Imphal is the capital.
Right.
And Imphal is also the cradle of the Manipur civilization that we talk about. The 5,000, 10,000 years of, continuous process of evolution and civilization. Imphal is the cradle of the area. And when you look at if you go back another 10 to 15 years back, if you look at the law and order situation in the hills, if you look at the Naga insurgency movement, if you look at the, Meitei insurgency movement in hill areas, then there is never a conducive environment where you can have high value asset being established. And the kind of demographic distribution, the populations are so scarcely and thinly distributed, widely distributed, that you cannot find a, concentrated area where major institutions can be set up. If you look at the security perspective, if you look at the accessibility, the communications are so bad. But now it's being improved. But Imphal is at the center of the whole state. If you look at the maps, Imphal is at the center. So Kuki can access with equal distance the way Naga can access it. That is how it is. Having said that, now with the coming of the new government and the policy change and all, things have started distributing to the hill areas also. Churachandpur recently had a medical college, which they have completely they do something different way, but it's already there. So many things are coming up like that. So it's not like keeping premier institutions and high value assets in Imphal means that it's being given to Meitei.
Right. That's why tribals are also here in Imphal, right?
The Indira Gandhi National Tribal University, it's now there in Makhan village. It's there. Before that, the Adin Jati, this TRI and all everything.
Do you think the congestion in the Imphal Valley could have been avoided if?
It could have been avoided.
Right. If these institutions, important ones, are it has been constructed somewhere else.
We have been pursuing since the time of my coming into this social activism and all. We have been pursuing with the government from time to time that we keep telling that urbanization has to be expanded in hill areas as well. The settlement areas, for example, the institution as well. If you go an institution there, people will start settling there.
Right. Create a necessity.
Yes, all sort of economic activities will start there. Movement will start there. That's what we keep pursuing. But the issue is the land. Land laws that we have in hill areas. It needs to be amended. But there is a fierce psychosis, whether it's reasonable or not. But nobody cares about that. There is that fierce psychosis particularly in the tribal leaders, who sense that if there is some kind of agenda that discuss with the land, then they will just outrightly reject that they don't want to even touch on land matters. Then you cannot have permanent institutions on lease. It cannot be happened. You have to provide land documents if you want to pursue the bank loan, if you want to have any business activity. It has to. So now that we are having that kind of sense that the congestion must be expanded, hill lane areas also needs to be exploited, and it should be used in a very wise and rational manner. We also need to look into the amendment of several land laws, how the interest of the tribal should not be compromised. At the same time, there should also be avenue to be provided by the tribal leaders for coming up all those institutions that you are talking about.
All right. The reason why I pointed out is because some people feel that the congestion in the Imphal Valley is the Meitei's making. That's what some people think, because we discussed, all the premier institutions, important institutions are based here. So people obviously have to come here to for office work, for medical treatment, for to get institution. To get into a proper institution. So if it had been constructed in the hill areas as well, when you mentioned about insurgencies, I think Imphal Valley had insurgency problem as well in the past. So I'm not saying all the important institutions, but then it could have been.
Yes, but the kind of operation. So like several teachers, several government employees are posted in hill areas.
Right.
But due to lack of infrastructures and proper quarters and the security, people have an apprehension to go and even work there.
In the past, or is it at the present as well? In the past. Okay.
But now things have changed. Things have changed. People started exploring the several, district headquarters and all. Even the state government has started launching tourism festival in hill areas. You know it.
Right.
Earlier it was never like that. So things have changed.
Yeah.
So we also need to change our line of argument. It should not be based on ethnicity.
Right, right.
There is a very popular, what do you say, generalization of arguments in terms of ethnicity.
Right,
Say,
right.
here one accident happened, one scooters and a car happened. When you go and inquire, the two persons found out to be one is a Naga, one is a Meitei.
Right.
The report will come out that Naga is a Meitei God class.
Right. The name of the community is tagged.
Yeah, it's not like, two wheelers and four wheelers got,
Right.
accident. It has started coming up in that kind of narrative,
Right.
which is very unfortunate. It should be completely.
Trying to make it communal is one of the
Yes,
worst.
people are
Right.
taking advantage of
And yes, to live in a state like Manipur is very complicated if we have to make it complicated. And I feel like Manipur is like mini India.
Yeah.
Lots of complications and a diverse state. So we feel that if Manipur has to live as a state, if the different communities has to coexist as one, I think everyone needs to get what he or she deserves, the district-wise or community-wise or everything. So this kind of at the moment we're discussing it, but then if there has been a treatment like a stepmotherly treatment, which we have been discussing, but then we have come to a conclusion that it has been changing, things are changing. So hopefully these things changes and then this kind of mindset, our mentality will obviously change, and in that way I think we will be able to coexist.
As an activist, we never encourage or we never suggest any kind of ethnocentric ideas to the government. We never do that. It is the government, their own policy. But if I have to remind you, we had the longest serving chief minister from Tangkui.
Right.
Our late Mr. Risang Singh.
Yes.
And our Yamaso Seda was also there. Our Susa was also there. And when Risang Singh became the chief minister of Manipur and longest serving politicians of even in India as a congressman, he was one of the oldest.
Yes, oldest parliamentarian.
In
Yeah.
his time, isn't
Right.
it? But see, you just imagine it. Despite if Meiteis were communal and ethnocentric, 40 MLAs won't support him. At that time, he must be having 8 or 9 MLAs from the Tangkui, from the Nagas. How could he become a chief minister? It is because of the broad-mindedness of the Meitei MLAs and legislators at that time that they don't mind making a Naga leader chief minister of Manipur. That's one good,
Very rare case.
very rare case. It will never happen.
Right.
Meitei has been always doing that. But there are certain vested political leaders and groups who want to fix Meitei as Meitei exclusive because they have their own agenda to fix Naga exclusive ideas and Kuki exclusive ideas. So they have to work hard to make Meitei exclusive so that Naga exclusive can, ideas can be prominent. So that's the kind of dirty politics we played for quite some time, and people started buying that as if it's very, it is the most holistic, way to, argue in a way. So that's very wrong, I think. So we need to change that.
Right. Okay. It's good to hear that from you. And because of the ongoing crisis, Imphal Valley now does not have any Kuki-Zo community. They're all, displaced, or they're in their hometown or their village. And then at the moment, even the Nagas, sometimes, yes, we heard lots of news about being physically assaulted, threatened, and then their cars looted, cash looted. So sometimes we feel insecure to even visit Imphal for work or whatever it is. And then there has been demand especially the commercial vehicles by certain groups. And then we also feel, the public feels that the state is somehow out of control because they are unable to control certain armed groups where they have been freely roaming around the city, where they are taking the initiative of, taking into control of even the people's elected representatives. What is your take in this? Because Manipur, as it is, the Kuki-Zo community are asking for a separate administration now. Do you still think we can coexist and live together as one in Manipur?
If we look from the Naga-Kuki clash experiment, I think we still have hope.
Okay.
because the intensity is not yet, it's not even half mark the intensity that happened in 1992-93. The number of casualties from the side of Kuki is more than 1,000. From the Naga is more than 500. Number of villages at that time was completely devastated. It's a huge number, much more than what we are experiencing today. So I think there is still hope.
Okay.
Because today Naga and Kukis are still again catching up. So that's the hope.
Yeah.
If you look at that.
Great. Good to know that. At that time, both, even now, of course, Kukis and the Nagas are Christians, and the church took a very important step and the main role to bridge the gap differences between the Nagas and the Kukis. What about now between the Meitei and the Kukizo community? What should be done in order to find a solution together? Because we feel that this cannot keep on going. There has to be a solution. Many innocent lives have been lost. Many innocent people have been displaced. What is the solution to be taken? What's the next step ahead?
I think for now there isn't any one magic formula which you can just apply it and you have a magic wand and you just blow over and things got changed. It's not going to happen like that, because this is a fallout of a prolonged ignorance by subsequent state government and the Indian government from time to time.
Okay.
And it is now being, at that saturation point, now it could burst. So in order to rectify this, we ought to have certain, exercise, which will take some time. And that exercise is going to resolve it. It will be not a kind of, momentary solution. It should be a permanent solution.
Right.
Otherwise, during that Naga-Kuki clashes time, if the government realizes, at that time, if both the government at the center and the state realizes why the Nagas were, fighting with the Kukis, what were the key issues, what were the agenda, if they realize at that time, this incident could not happen.
Okay. Could have been avoided.
Could have been avoided.
Okay.
But the government is a government. They only run after the powers, how to retain powers, how to, spend the amount that's sent from New Delhi, and how much can you divert that amount, So there are many key important things that have been neglected or kind of avoided by the subsequent government.
Okay.
So now that the government has realized, they themselves has now, entangled in this conflict. So I think they are now quite sensible enough.
Okay.
Even the government of India has also got some.
Do you feel both the state or the center has been taking, any initiatives or steps to end this war, this crisis? Can you name some?
FMR is a good step, and the NRC base year 1961's proposition by the state is a good step, and this boundary fencing is a good step.
Okay.
Of course, there are also certain dissent opinions from the other communities.
Yeah.
But it's a good step.
If the Kuki-Zo community feel these steps are against them, do you think that will bring any kind of solution?
Yeah, because no, it's not up to the Kuki-Zo community to decide on the territorial security and the demographic security of the state. It is the government who have to decide. For them, they always want an open border. They always want to, keep on, this trans-border movement from time to time. They want to continue this process of false immigration and, transportation or illicit drug trafficking and arms trafficking, all those things. Okay. There are certain groups who are encouraging that to continue. So their interest is...
So even though the Kuki-Zo community are against these steps of the government, if the government takes it up, you think this will bring a permanent solution to the current crisis? Okay. Just regarding this solution, what do you think are the roles of the Nagas? The Nagas as a whole or the leaders that they can, what are their roles for this ongoing crisis to end? What do you think we can bridge any kind of, bring any kind of solution, help as a mediator? What can we do?
I think, in my mind, what we are facing today, Nagas have already experienced it in the past. They have learned it, they have known it, And they are the one who whistleblower. They are the whistleblower of this kind of, kind of threat from the
Okay.
immigrations and influx of population and all these demographic crises that we are facing today. So I think Naga also needs to take some proactive stance in terms of pursuing the agenda for exercising the NRC, which we already had a understanding and we already submitted a joint memorandum signed by UNC and COCOMI together to the Prime Minister in 2019. So that has to be pursued because illegal immigration is now more a false idea. It's a fact. It's a reality.
Okay.
And it has done enough damage
Okay.
in our lush forest areas of the hills.
Okay.
And it has also penetrated deep inside. And Nagas are the one who is going to suffer more
Okay.
than the Meitei if these things is not resolved.
Do you feel the Naga leaders are
Hills only.
right?
The occupation happens in hills only. The poppy cultivation happens in hills only. The drug trafficking and the arms trafficking happens in hills only. So Naga should be more wary.
Okay. Do you feel the Naga leaders are doing enough at the moment, or do they need to be more proactive?
They need to be a little more proactive because it's not as but how we work in 2019 and 20.
Okay. I want to share something, a fact with you. My village, Chatrik. Yes, we were awarded by the state government for not cultivating poppy. It was given out by the Home Minister Amit Shah by himself.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. And I just have two questions and we'll wind it up. What is your idea of Manipur? How do you see Manipur? I want you to describe Manipur.
See, Manipur could be a wonderful place. It could be heaven in Northeast. Manipur has everything that other Northeast states lacks. Manipur has a wonderful valley. Manipur have hill ranges. Manipur have beautiful lakes. Manipur has a fertile land. Whatever you sow, it grows. Peoples are beautiful. We have a diverse community. And we have been coexisting for 1,000 years. It's not in a century. And if we look back to how we coexist at that time, before the arrival of different religious faith and all, we were so, so organic in our relationships. We coexist like anything, and it could have been much better place. But the very idea, there is some kind of systematic policy that subjugates or that, create a divide continuing, which we all need to, realize it, and we fight together to join together. It's not just Manipur that we need to unite, because we also need to have a larger perspective of having a kind of conglomeration of the northeastern states as a one block. We need to share our air traffic routes. We need to have more accessibility between the states, even the communities also, because socio-culturally we are from same stock of people. We have same lifestyle, we have same food habits, we have same cultural traits. We have so many things to be.
Okay.
When the dispute of this Ludim and Lerum came up, I was laughing at home and I was so, I feel that I'm blessed.
Okay.
Because,
in what way?
Because that very costumes, or that very, shawl that we have, the stole that we have, it reflects the, impossible, the divide is impossible.
Okay.
Because you still have that which is common to the two very significant.
When you mentioned that, I want to bring out something which is written in the history. His history says that since the 1725, when the Hinduism arrived in Manipur, it created, because earlier you were saying that we live together as one, there was no division. But then when Hinduism arrived in 1725, and since then, there was a divide in the caste. And then people in the hills are called tribals and untouchables. So do you think if this continues, or is this the reason why we have been, living as different people, as a different caste?
I think it has contributed
Contributed.
some ways
Okay.
in creating the divide, the sense of divide, I would say. But now I think the kind of that religious taboo or the cultural taboo that's been introduced by those religions,
Okay.
it doesn't exist now anymore.
Okay.
I don't think so, because we dine in the same plate.
Right.
We live together.
So
we sleep.
earlier when this division happened, and then now that I want to come back to what we discussed earlier. This particular group which has been demanding for ST status, I think it does not justify the demand then, because there was already a creation like where high caste people, these are untouchables, and then now they are demanding for same status.
No, I have a feeling that religion divides, but not the people.
Okay. Okay.
It is the religion that's divided, not the people.
So those people who follow the religion will have that divisive mind.
They might have that divisive mind.
Okay.
But when you look today, when you see today's modern society, I don't think that the religion can influence enough to
Okay.
because today people are educated. What you learn from religious books, and now you are learning from your moral science books, from your general knowledge books. So things have changed.
Things have changed.
People used to pray to the moon. People are now stepping foot
Right,
on that moon where
right.
you are praying. So you cannot keep on, dragging that cultural, taboos and differences in this modern society.
Okay.
So religion is no more a factor of this issue.
Okay, Mr. Athouba, I would like to ask a very important question. This will be my last question. Nagas are of the view that there is a fundamental difference between Nagas and Meiteis in the idea of a nation. Because for us Nagas, it is outside the Indian constitution, but we feel that the Meiteis identified themselves with India,
Which method you need to know?
the Meitei community, as a part of India.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
If that's happened, then why would there be the Naga Meitei insurgencies?
Right. So not all the Meitei community, few, or the whole of Meitei. Does the whole of Meitei then feel that they're not a part of India?
I cannot comment on them, because I can convey you the situation.
Okay.
I cannot comment on that,
Okay.
because
So,
that becomes international in a way.
right. For the Meitei
I'm a
community.
law-abiding citizen of the
Okay.
country for now,
Right.
so I have to abide by the constitution. But having said that, there is still Meitei insurgency movement. You know it,
Right.
and they are bidding for the complete sovereignty. Other than sovereignty, they are not ready to
Okay.
have the talk.
Okay.
But the Nagas, at least they initiated the dialogue and they begin the talk.
Okay.
They are also fixing to their.
What is your opinion on the Naga political aspiration?
I think the Naga political aspirations, every free man has a right to have that aspiration. But we also need to understand the bitter reality, or the reality of where we live and where we grow. If you look at the space, the territorial space of Manipur, if you follow the territorial political boundary map of Manipur, the particular Naga groups who are, bidding for the sovereignty, has now have a different opinion
Okay.
from the Nagas who are in Nagaland state. So all these things needs to be
Right.
reviewed and understand the reality.
You think the people of the land has the aspiration, they have the right to choose their political aspiration?
Of course, people have the right to choose, but nation cannot be built up on particular, what do you say? If you look at the components of ethnicity and the population that we have in Manipur, Manipur, before merging to the Indian Union, Manipur itself is a sovereign state. And every one of us were together under that state. So that is also one reality which cannot be avoided or rejected. That's also one reality. Yes, within that political space, now we are having another group of people who again want another separate aspirations, with a separate aspirations, political aspirations, who don't want to continue with that idea of Manipur sovereignty again. That is also a direction, but we also that can be time is the best healer.
Right.
So time will prove which one is which can be sustainable, which can be sustained, which cannot be which is not reliable. So I think that now the Naga talks is also going on. There should be certain endpoint.
Yeah.
Maybe it may take another, I don't know how long it will take or how quick it can be resolved.
Okay.
But there will be certain endpoints.
Right.
And we also have to wait and watch what happens to them.
Okay.
At the same time, there is also the sovereignty issue of Manipur as a whole. That will also have its own time to have a proper table and forum to have a political dialogue.
Okay.
So I think we have to look forward to that, how it turns out in due course of time. But you as a normal layman and citizen of the state, for now, we have to look on our own daily life and reality that we are facing today. We also need to secure the future of our next generation, our sons and grandsons. So how are we going to secure that? It's even more challenging.
That's the most important part.
That's most important.
Right. Mr. Athouba, it's been a very great conversation and interaction with you. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. To end this conversation of ours, I want you to give out a message to the youngsters of Manipur, or even to the older generation. Any genuine, your heartfelt message, if you want to convey it to the youths. Please take your time as a closing remark.
Yeah. I will be very short on that. To all the veterans that we have living here in Manipur together, maybe from the ethnic communities, maybe from other ethnic communities as well. I think now times have changed. Manipur is changing, and we should also be part of that change.
Okay.
If we don't believe in change, then we will be stuck in what we have been, entangling for several, decades. So it's time that, we start thinking out of the box, and we try to create a new idea where we can all live and grow together peacefully, securely, and our future is being secure. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Athouba. Like I said earlier, it's been great knowing you. This is the first time we have met, but still then we had a very conversation as if we have met for a long time. Yeah, and you have shared so many things which is very admirable. And I'm sure it's not just me, but our viewers, thousands of viewers who will be learning lots. And it's been an insightful conversation, and I wish you the best in your future endeavors. I hope and pray that through initiatives of yours, through your social activism, peace will prevail in Manipur. And I hope you inspire thousands of people, or even lakhs of people, with a very genuine and clear mindset to bring about peace in our state. Thank you so much once again. And hopefully next time we'll have a good conversation on, happy occasions or to bring about development in the state. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you. Right,
thank you. And once again, thank you so much to all the viewers of this special episode. It's been a very insightful and meaningful interaction with the spokesperson of COCOMI. He has shared so many insightful ideas, opinions, his personal views on how to bring about peace and coexist as one. I'm sure most of us have learned something or the other from this particular conversation. We hope and pray that long-lasting peace will prevail in Manipur, and loss of lives will stop, and the differences which we have will be sorted out. I hope and pray that our leaders will come together and work it out. We believe that if we try, there will always be a way. So Let us not, let us stop the blame game. Let us come forward. Let us try to think for us, think for our youngsters, think for the future, and then try to bring peace in the state as soon as possible. Thank you so much once again. See you in the next episode.